The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Now broadcasting from the Right to Offend Media Studios in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, art, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report Live with Sam Whitfield.
But giving offense is good. In fact, it's essential.
And boy, is that message there ever timely. Because it seems like more and more things that shouldn't be offensive are offensive. Meanwhile, the things that should offend us are not offensive to a lot of people. Take for example the fact that we're now on 3 Trump assassination attempts, and the consensus
I missed the third.
And the consensus from the left is, Trump brought this on himself, so what are you going to do?
So, the third may have not been as big a deal as was initially reported when I made that comment earlier. What happened was there was a report that there were explosives found near a Trump rally in New York today. Later on, the authorities came and said there were actually no explosives, and you take that for what it's worth. That they did report it. It was reported by every media outlet I saw.
That's still pretty fucking bad, though. I mean, I
did not catch that.
The claim, anyway, is that a person pulled up who wasn't supposed to be there, left their car and ran into the woods, and then it was reported that there were explosives in the vehicle, which the authorities have now said was not the case. So maybe not number 3, but certainly we had number 2 over the weekend, and we can definitely talk about that.
Yeah, the fact that we even have to the fact that we're even talking a second one is pretty unbelievable, and the fact
he's actually at this point he's had the most attempts on his life of any former president.
Second one in 60 days.
Yeah. And
usually they don't get one in their entire life.
Yeah. And yet the left's response to this is largely, well, it's his own fault.
Little victim blaming. Yep.
Yep.
It's guys. He was wearing skimpy clothes.
Yeah.
Trump was wearing skimpy clothes.
Thank you. That's pretty much the exact same logic. So, if you want to complain about that, double standard much?
And he was coming on to the assassin, okay?
If the left didn't have any standards, they wouldn't have any standards at all.
By the way, I love this whole thing of, both of these assassins were allegedly registered Republicans, so what does that tell you, Sam? Nothing. It tells
us literally nothing, because if you look at both of these individuals, even if you, because obviously we can point to this second guy, Ryan Routh, had a Biden-Harris bumper sticker on his car. He had he did not like Trump. He's very vocal about that on social media. So he might have registered a Republican in 2016, which he very much admitted to, saying that he voted for Trump in 2016. He didn't like how Trump handled certain foreign policy issues because he's a psychopath. Why do I say he's a psychopath, Sam? He tried to kill a man. Right? So let's not assume that a person who's like that has reasonable politics anyway.
Hey,
the
Max,
fact that they're assuming he has reasonable politics.
Your noise gate's catching a lot of your words.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's well, and again, I mean, I only bring up the Republican thing because I mean that's a little like Krasenstein logic. And like honestly, more I really understand why you despise the Krasensteins as much as you do, because I honestly can't tell if they're this fucking stupid or if they're like literally like just
They're either the stupidest fucking brothers in the goddamn world, or the most fucking disingenuous pieces of fucking shit in the goddamn fucking world.
I mean, maybe a little bit of both at this point, but like, yeah, Brian, if the guy was if the alleged assassin was Republican, and they try and
it's the same logic of organization is named Antifa. They're literally named as the good guys.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. The mental. How about just how about instead of trying to do mental gymnastics, just say it's bad that someone took a shot at Trump and just leave it at that. No,
but they don't think it's bad.
Well, no,
I leave them in a tough spot. No,
I know that. I'm just saying that, like, rather than try and do all these mental gymnastics, listen, I would actually have more respect for them just to say that, like, Trump deserved it, rather than do all this mental gymnastics, to try and like say that he deserved it, but not really. So, that's where we're at in this country. Lefties, they literally want us dead, and then they have and then Hillary Clinton wants basically anyone who disagrees with her to be imprisoned, for misinformation. Yep. And
Gavin Newsom signed a law for that.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Essentially. Also, this is another reason why I'm a little fired up tonight. I'm not surprised at all, but I'm still pretty pissed because I like to show my book, The Shadows of Deception Saga, which is a great,
like this book right here, Fourth Estate,
John
Ryder thriller,
Dogs
of Three,
Dogs of War. Actually, I've got an announcement regarding the Shadows of Deception Saga tonight. But before I do that, I also want to show my friend Zach James's book.
There you go.
Persona non grata.
Zach, a fitting title considering what's going on, huh?
Yeah. So that actually is pretty funny because Zach wrote a mafia thriller about a guy who gets excommunicated from the mob, and now he's getting excommunicated from Instagram.
Oh, jeez.
Which is wild to me because he's like doesn't politic on there at all, as far as I could tell.
No, he well, so the thing about Zach that I actually was texting back and forth with him like before the show, and he clarified some things because people thought that he was getting censored after coming after my show. But I asked him, and he said that like he's been censored on Instagram like way before he knew me for just like posting basically, I shit you not, folks, basically like old school Tom Clancy covers from like the 80s because they had like AK-47s.
Yeah, just random firearms of the era related to the story on the cover. I got you.
And the other thing is like Zach's only like a year older than me. Not that matters much, but like there are some photos of him that like kitted up in tactical gear, and a lot of those photos have been retroactively taken down, some of them. These are photos that like he posted a long time ago. And,
you know what's interesting about a lot of these internet rules, Sam, is that they don't apply anywhere like in traditional media. For example, guns are freely shown in children's television shows.
Yeah.
Right? For example, words like kill, words you can't say on YouTube, right? Suicide. These are words that are commonly used on television in shows that are rated PG. It's only on the internet that they've suddenly become taboo things that you can't ever say.
Yeah.
Which is part of the censorship net that's dragging us all in and making anything that's normal discourse, normal storytelling, normal talking has to be some weird freak thing because they need to shut it down, because this is not about what people are saying. It's about power.
Yeah. And, I told him too, the other reason, the reason why I think he got censored is because, and I know that Max is going to become even more of a fan because because Zach literally talked about like how he hates corpos.
Yeah.
Like
they don't like that.
Yeah.
And you know what? What? They will. I'm gonna make a prediction here for you, Sam. Give it 5 years. They are going to consider corpo a slur and hate speech.
I think they already, maybe not officially, but like I have noticed that like they already kind of.
They don't like that one at all. They don't like being called corpos. Which is funny because you're a corporation.
Maybe don't be a corpo then.
Yeah, why does it bother them that they're a corporation?
The fact that his Cyberpunk 2077 memes were getting censored is hilarious to me. Now, like we could also like probably have a debate because I'm pretty sure that like Johnny Solhand is not like a right winger at all, but the fact that like
no, far left, yeah.
but the fact that like
but we all hate corpos,
yeah, pretty much. So basically, like I'm still going to post my content on Instagram, and so is he. But like because it's one of the tools we use, but still, like for anyone who is promoting content on there, it really is maddening when you spend time clipping stuff or making graphic art to put up there, and then Instagram will arbitrarily just pull it down. But then this is the other point that Zach brought up. You have a chick with big titties who is like posting firearms and whatnot or something. And
That's
even like the Hawkster girl, I have nothing against Haley Welch or whatever her name is, but like the fact
you know that chick's name? I didn't. Wow, that's impressive.
In Sam's defense, so do I.
Jesus, that's because you. I know why you guys know it.
The reason why you don't, Max, is because you're married.
Oh, is that it? Is she somehow? Is the girl who's like bragging about how big a slut she is actually that all appealing to you guys?
For one night, maybe.
Not
enough.
Not to me, but
no, Morpheus got the right answer, I think.
But like my point being is like,
how am I supposed to counter that? For one night, maybe? Yeah, you know what? You win.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say no. Let me put it that way. But anyway, my point is like.
So then the answer is that the girl who's only famous from bragging about how big a slut she is, you still would smash. Gotcha. Go ahead.
But protected, yes.
Good man.
If she asked me, then.
Well, yeah. What do you think? I'm saying you're a rapist? Of course she's asking. Of course there's consent involved, Sam. Jesus. What direction has this taken already?
I wasn't even going down that. I wasn't even going down that rabbit hole. What I'm saying is like I wouldn't approach her necessarily, but if she approached me, who am I to say no?
Fucking game on.
No.
You're a man of principle.
But my point being is she could. My overall point. The only reason why I brought her up is to say that. If she were to post AK-47, nothing would happen. Nothing would happen to her.
Probably
because horny posting.
I actually told Zach, I'm like, maybe you should send her a copy of Persona non Grata and have her shill.
Does she know how to read it?
The book.
My wife had a question, Sam. Did she know how to read it?
I actually was going to ask that question, but I'm glad Maxine did, because if I asked that question, I would get bombarded but no, actually. Well, actually, yeah, like I actually do have that. I actually have to wonder that myself. And plus, like, this book is like 500. This book is 500 pages, and I'm not sure like if she has the attention span.
She doesn't strike me as a bookish kind of girl, Sam.
Yeah, so she's not really my type in that sense.
Normal, and I like the nerdy types.
But point being is,
oh well, you both also like horse. Come on.
There's some nerdy horse.
Fair.
I'm just being way too mean to this girl that I know very little about. So I'll stop now.
You're not. I mean, you're not. No, I'm kind of being mean in my own way, because I'm saying that like she can.
And I'm just being the peanut gallery.
My point being is she can get away with like all the stuff that none of us normie guys can. So
what you're saying, Sam, is now to promote books, we need to get dumb broads to do all the advertising.
If we're on Instagram, yes, because that's pretty much what they forced us.
I gotta take note, Sam. This is a new marketing strategy, and you're just laying it on me here. Okay.
Well,
needed for promo. What do you think? 3 dumb broads.
Well,
all right, I'll get on that, Sam. We're gonna find you 3 dumb broads just to promote your books. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, listen. I mean, maybe I should do the interview. Maybe Morton I should handle that because you're married, and I
That's
wouldn't.
why I said we. I'm not gonna go find any dumb broads. What are you, stupid?
It
I
would be
mean-
you who was stupid if you were the one to go find them.
I mean,
'Cause then you'd be in trouble.
I've been told I am, but no.
I wouldn't know where to find dumb broads. I'm old and married.
I mean, that's true. I suppose you could go to whatever. I suppose you could go to Harvard, or right. That's the Ivy League school in Mass, right?
One of them, yes.
Yeah, one of
There's
them.
multiple.
And yes, folks, I did just call Ivy League. I did just call Ivy League chicks dumb.
I noticed. I would say though, you know,
you have to be fucking dumb to spend that much money on a useless fucking degree.
yeah, I was gonna say the average tuition for Harvard is like 6.5 figures or something like that.
Yeah. But you know, and this is kind of my other message that I want to like rant out is artists, particularly indie artists. There's no reason to like tone down what you believe in, or to like try and be like non-religious or non-political anymore, because clearly it's only a one-sided thing, right? Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala, and nobody's saying that oh, how dare she be political. It's only when not even Trump people.
It's only when the artist is supportive of right-wing causes.
Right. Or not even religious, not even like right-wing causes, but like John Guarnieri, who we've mentioned on the show before. I haven't had him on yet, but he actually quote tweeted my tweet about Zach and said that his he's posted a bit more about like his faith, and that's gotten
That's a hot button now. Like, I was actually just showing my wife the artist Dax, rapper.
yeah.
She didn't even know this, but he says in one of the songs I was showing, he like alluded to saying a curse word, and he's like, but I don't cuss because I'm Christian. And she's like, he really doesn't cuss. And I was like, yeah, that's like his whole deal. But like, he's gotten completely like thrust out of the kind of hip hop scene, even the indie hip hop scene, because he's so open about his faith and he's so open about his politics, which by the way are not like, he's not a Trump supporting guy. He actually he's one of those like both sides are bad kind of guys.
Yeah.
And that's too much for them. So even being a centrist and open about it is too much nowadays.
Yeah, that was kind
insane.
of my point. Is even being a centrist. I haven't listened to the full podcast that John did yet, but he interviewed one of the he does a podcast with Eric Bass from Shinedown, and Shinedown is one of those bands that I would say is like. They really don't like bring politics or anything, but they're very moderate as far as their politics. But one of them was, like I said, I haven't listened to the whole podcast, but I from what I could piece together, they were talking about the fact that like Dave Grohl recently said that he doesn't want any Trump supporters at Foo Fighters shows anymore, and
correct.
And Shinedown said that, hey, we want everyone to come to our shows.
That's the way it should be.
Basically.
Well, and Shinedown, in fairness, though I wouldn't say that they're a Christian band by any mean, has never shied away from discussing faith in their songs. You know,
No.
which as a popular, like as a mainstream music act, I don't think people understand how brave that can be in this day and age.
That's super brave.
It is.
Some bands that pigeonholes your entire career, even 10, 15 years ago, to be labeled as Christian rock is the same as being labeled as cringe to a lot of people, which, to be fair, a lot of Christian rock is pretty cringe. But if you're a good rock band who sometimes dabbles in Christian messaging because you write what you know, you run the risk of being labeled a Christian band and being cast off from the mainstream consciousness. And despite all that, Shinedown's one of the top 10 bands that tours right now, easily.
They've been huge for years.
Yeah, huge.
Up until the pandemic, I was very well connected to one of my local live event venues, and we were talking about them all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been touring. They're getting bigger. I mean, they're limited to like the rock radio stations, sure, which maybe gets less play on a national scale than something like the pop music. But in terms of a rock band, they are in the top 5 or 10 in the country right now, easily.
Yeah. And I actually wrote on my Substack like at the end of last month, because it's my 11th anniversary of moving to Florida, and I actually talked about how the song Second Chance came out when I was in high school, and I never really got the meaning of that song until I moved to Florida, and I had some, bad, not like horrible experiences in Colorado, but enough to want to make me move. And I find that was like one of those kind of like moments where I'm like, oh, I finally get what this song, is about, with starting over and whatnot. And so I talked about like what, how that song impacted me on the Substack. But yeah, like even
I know
like
I've
just
said
like
this to you gentlemen, but I don't think I've said it on air before. I go by the motto, music is what feelings sound like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I definitely do believe that there's something to that, Morpheus. I actually am glad you brought that up, because
those two concepts developed in humanity around the same time, actually. And so, like, if you look at like evolutionary psychology, that's 100% true.
yeah.
Music is not only that, but music predates spoken word communication. We were banging drums before we knew words to say to each other.
Yes. So another topic that, since we're talking like relevant things, like Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala Harris, on the surface, I don't really care about, because she's a celebrity and I don't care. But what I do find interesting, though, is, and this isn't really even related to Kamala or anything, but I find I have listened to her songs and her lyrics, and it's all, literally her songs are all the same about like guy problems, and it's very
her whole career is premised on picking the wrong person and writing songs about it. Here, listen to who she wants you to pick.
Yeah, and in teenage years.
It's very shallow, and
Well, the average person, you have to ask yourself, how much do you actually have in common with Taylor Swift? And the answer, a lot of women who are fans of hers would think a lot, but they don't. They don't have anything in common with her. She rides private jets everywhere. She's a cat lady. She has she never worries for anything. She doesn't have any oh God, the bills are coming, right? She can she could do whatever she wants in
Pretty
life.
sure she didn't even have that when she was younger.
Yeah.
Look at who
No,
her father is.
She's and that's the other thing is she's a nepo baby. A lot of people don't know this, but she's only in the industry because she had connections, like Miley Cyrus. This is why a woman who, in Miley Cyrus's case, sounds like a fucking cat in a blender when she sings becomes the top star. Why? Because her dad was famous. Not because she's any good. She's not.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, Nepo baby. Fuck off.
I would say
Yeah.
Taylor can probably sing a little better, but yeah, there's so many. Like, if you're one of those younger women fans, you're not watching this show right now, but let's just pretend for a second that they were. Think about this. If you're inspired and you're trying to write songs and stuff like Taylor Swift, you're never going to get her spot because you don't have a famous dad, you don't have an uncle, you don't have an in.
Well, it's funny that you say that.
It's not like she actually writes most of her own songs.
No.
Sam. A lot of people think she does. Go check the fucking credits. That's not true.
Nope.
And that's the other that's the other
A
thing. too.
Swedish man, Sam, writes most of her songs. Did you know that?
Yes, I actually did.
He's about 50 years old, Swedish, straight, white man. Writes all Taylor Swift, not all of them, but most of Taylor Swift's songs.
Yeah, and so look, she can endorse whoever she wants. That's not what I have an issue with. The issue I have the issue I have isn't even with her. It's with a lot of these normies who think, oh, I can relate to.
It's with people
Taylor
thinking that her
Swift,
opinion matters.
or yeah, they think her.
Yeah, I
opinion
mean, hey,
matters.
it's really easy to relate to her, because we're all multimillionaires, right? And we don't care about food prices, right? Because we're multimillionaires and we all get to travel in our private jets to every part of the world every week. And then with the little bit of work we do each week, can then immediately take another private jet to go meet with our famous boyfriend at the Super Bowl, right? Anybody can relate to that. It's so relatable. We're all just like that, right, Sam?
I mean, listen, like,
How many times a week do you take your private jet, Sam?
3 times a week, in my imagination, Max. That's the key.
There you go.
Listen, in my imagination, I'm just.
We're all gonna hit it big and fucking get our own goddamn private jets.
That's right.
In my imagination, I've sold 1 million books, and we're all jet setting.
Hey, one day we're gonna be riding on RTO Force One. Okay, and this will be a.
Well, if Trump wins and the economy, if the economy is good, then that might actually not be, that might actually be in the realm of possibility if the economy can get fixed. But
yeah, this is, I was being obviously sarcastic about it, but this is my thing with the celebrity endorsements is you like their art doesn't mean that their endorsement is relevant to you at all. What
Right.
economic bracket are they in? Is it the same as yours? Well, then maybe
Yeah.
they have a different set of priorities. I've always thought that celebrity endorsements, you're right, they can endorse whoever they want. I've just always wondered why people care.
yeah, and that's also that I've always kind of in the same boat too.
I loved a lot of Trump voters were like, oh my God, Jack Black is openly endorsing Joe Biden. It's like, yeah, oh, he's an idiot. He's a big, fat, crackhead looking idiot.
Yeah, the fact that
A big, fat, lying, crackhead looking piece of shit who wishes violence on other people, idiot.
the fact that Steven Crowder did like an entire live stream about Taylor Swift endorsing
Oh my
Harris,
God.
I'm like,
Cringe.
yeah,
I'm sorry, Crowder. That's cringe. Like, straight up, like, you're more obsessed with her than she is with this endorsement, okay?
And well, and to me, like that is one thing that like that really does that really like does irritate me, because there are so many things that conservatives, that if you're a Trump supporter and you're on the right, there are millions of things that you could talk about, like the economy, like, you know, I get it, it gets repetitive, but there are literally thousands more things relevant to do a live stream on than, oh my god.
Well,
Taylor
we'll take a
Swift-
couple minutes, but you notice most of it's just us joking about her.
Yeah.
It's like, because she's not relevant. As much as everybody will tell you how relevant she is she relevant to you if you're not a teeny bopper girl who goes to Taylor Swift concerts? Are you a father? Probably the only reason she's relevant to you is if you have a daughter that listens to Taylor Swift. Like, I don't know, like, especially like, quote unquote, our audience is probably not going to be a big Taylor Swift kind of audience. But even if they were, I mean, even if you like her music, like, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? I like Rage Against the Machine's music, and they're communists. I hate them. I hate everything they stand for, but their music's kind of catchy.
Yeah,
Also, I've known, worked with, and been friends for years with artists who have different political views than me as well. I think people put too much stock into that. If you like somebody's art, you like their art.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, that's true. I do think there's something to be said here, though, for the fact that, like, things have gotten so politicized in America that it's
admitting you like somebody's art who disagrees with you has become taboo.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me. Crazy to me. Like, for example, Joe Fish in chat, shout out, by the way, said fuck Dave Grohl about the thing that he doesn't want Trump supporters at his show. I agree. Fuck Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl's a hell of a musician.
Yeah.
Or fuck him.
Yeah,
Those are two separate issues in my head, right?
Well, that was actually going to be something I said too, because I mentioned this with Robert De Niro too. Like, I love Goodfellas, and Robert De Niro is fantastic in Goodfellas. But man, ever since he lost his mind over Trump a few years ago, it's really hard for me to look at Robert De Niro and be like, that guy is talented, but he also hates me.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, there's plenty of actors, musicians, whatever, that I like their music, and they're kind of pieces of shit, and that's okay. Usually I try not to just give them money at that point, right? That's the big difference.
Yeah.
Once they've told me that they don't want my business, I don't give them my business. That's my rule of thumb.
Yeah, exactly. Ironically, like, I was actually thinking of this too. Like, Trump is the only person who, like, I liked as a celebrity, but I was always kind of meh on him. Like, I never really cared about him as, like, a person. But then, like, you know, once he ran and, like, became president, like, man, I really do. You know, we've talked about this before. Like, there are things about Trump that, yeah, I wish were different, but, like, I honestly do believe that Trump cares about the country, and I do believe that, you know, Donald Trump is a good man who has flaws like all of us do. I don't believe that Kamala Harris actually likes the country at all. I don't believe that
Kamala
Biden.
Harris is a psychopathic communist.
Yeah.
Facts.
So
In
was
that order, by the way. I think she's only a communist because that's the side that allows you to be a real fucking psychopath.
yeah.
And a piece of shit.
Well, and people thought, and there are some people who think that I'm overly harsh on Hillary Clinton being subhuman, but after what she said this week, like, I literally believe that Hillary Clinton is.
She's basically called us subhuman, so fuck her.
Yeah. Well, hey man, you're down there in Florida. You know that sucks because we're gonna end up in different resettlement camps when they start putting us in. But me and Mort will probably end up in a similar one, so we'll hook up at least.
Yeah, we'll land in different settlement camps. Maybe we'll be neighbors, Max.
Yeah. Probably.
Like that'll be great because like you and
As long as they allow me to bring my guitars, I'll be good.
no.
No guitars. We might make music that could contain misinformation.
That's
True.
well, but like
Sam, if misinformation has become a crime, I'm in a lot of trouble because I say a lot of bullshit on this show.
If misinformation becomes a problem, how about go after all the goddamn politicians first?
If
They will, but it will only be one side.
Of course, only the fucking Republicans.
if misinformation becomes like a capital punishment crime, well then all I can say is I'm good with God. Are you, the audience?
And here's the thing: is people will be like,
but what about all the horror lately? So probably.
What about all the misinformation on the left? They'll say, oh, surely they mean that too. No, you missed the part where they decide what's misinformation. Somebody has to make that determination, Sam. And clearly it should be them because they are the experts and you got to trust the experts, right?
Yeah.
They're the experts in misinformation.
Hey, when
they are they are the experts in spreading the misinformation.
Hey Max, when you and Jesse from Pod Awful get locked up in the same cell block, please.
Hey, he's on the moon. They got a different camp up there. Mort knows about that after his battle with the Nazis up there. You had to have seen the Pod Awful Goonopticon, right?
Yeah, well, I heard that like Morpheus and Jesse actually had like an epic crossover episode where they took down the space Nazis together. And it was pretty awesome.
I was unaware of that, Sam.
Well,
I love that I'll spew a bunch of bullshit and then immediately no sell yours. That's like my favorite thing to do.
I just love the fact that we can make up stories on air that are like actually somewhat like more factual. So,
well, I mean, your story was a little far-fetched, okay, with the crossover and everything. But Mort killing Nazis on the moon, I mean, that's fact. Stop spreading misinformation, Sam.
Goddamn right.
Yeah, well,
got to take those dark side of the moon bases back, damn it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
The Nazis have been there entirely too long. They're protecting the communist computer gangster god, actually.
Well,
they would do that.
Here's some food for thought.
But the bases are not, Joe.
Yeah, the moon's fake, but the bases are real. We figured this out a while ago. The moon's actually it's mechanical. It's like a Death Star, and just full of Nazis.
Well,
Morpheus told me, and he had a very convincing story when he came back. So
the Nazis are not actually the Nazis. The Jews are actually
no, they're the Nazis, actually, which means not communist. I'm surprised you. Oh, you thought he was fighting like, No. They're just not communists.
Oh, okay.
But the name's ironic because they are. That's why he's fighting them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ironic like Antifa.
That's right.
Well, also, I hope you guys got rid of your pagers today because apparently
It's got this new walkie-talkie though, Sam. I hear it's a blast.
Yeah. But
Hey, look, all I'm saying is it takes a lot of balls to wear a pager these days.
if you have to be careful because if you do wear a pager, then you might not have balls. Soon after.
You know what's my favorite thing about that? And it's not. I'm not even let's take sides and let's have a toxic argument about a country that we have nothing to do with because I don't like Jews. But the reality is, I see a lot of people crying about that. They're like, it was indiscriminate. They just blew them up anywhere. Says the people defending people shooting rockets at skyscrapers for the last 50 years. Indiscriminate terrorism, you say? Well, if it's good for the fucking terrorist goose, then it's good for the Middle Eastern gander, isn't it?
They're
just mad because Israel's a smarter terrorist, apparently.
Although
this isn't going to do a lot well for their reputation in that part of the world either. Like, that might be the stupid part of this plan, is like, as soon as it's over with, everybody's like, it's kind of a dickhead thing to do, Israel. Because it kind of was. But I get it. They're complaining, oh, it's indiscriminate. You could have hurt anybody. Yeah, not like when you shoot a rocket at a school, right? Nothing like that. Well, that's completely not indiscriminate.
Well, the other thing too is, the terrorists, they love to blow people up, right? So, but so it's okay when they blow people up, but when people, but when Israel makes them go boom, then it's a problem. So also,
I just see them being, again, my stance from the beginning is stop killing each other. Well, this is more killing each other, so I can't really support it, but I can make fun of it.
Well,
because bro, do you know where they got the pagers, Sam? They got them on Dan's deals for they were like $3 and free shipping to Lebanon, and these guys were like, oh yes, we have to get this good deal. We must get all these pagers. Whoa, dude! Come on!
I did not know that.
You know what I would have just I think the most fascinating thing about this whole entire thing is we actually learned that there are people that still use pagers other than doctors in hospitals. So
yeah. People without testicles apparently use pagers. Who knew?
The jokes just write the jokes just write themselves.
Yeah, so, well, that's because the pagers just blow themselves up. Well, it's automatic.
Well,
hey man, I had a pager back in the day, and I know what it feels like to have it blow up, but this is a little different than that, huh?
Oh, yeah.
It's a whole new meaning to blowing up my phone.
Yeah, well, you know, if you're
Bombs in the Middle East. Ha ha. People dead. Ha ha ha. Sorry.
you know the thing with it is,
Sometimes it all gets a little grating.
you know, if I were Israel though, my defense would be something like, well, maybe the batteries were just like super corroded and all, because like honestly, that is a thing, right? If you're
Yeah, all 2,000 of them at the exact same moment were corroded.
I mean,
Or 4,000. It was like 4,000 total, and 2,000 of them were like on people. Something like that.
I mean, hey, man, it's the excuse I would use, right? Like, because like that is the thing. Like,
That wouldn't help Israel's reputation at all to just flat out lie about it. I think it's better for them just to take credit for it, but it's still probably not going to help their reputation with a certain large swath of people.
Yeah.
It's like they do shit like that, and then it's easy to see the sneakiness. See, they did this. Yeah, it's not gonna help. It's very funny it's funny in a Kamala kind of way, right? Like dead kids, ha 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 ha, right? But like in a human way, it's not funny at all. Like what we're talking about is about 2,000 men's testicles getting blown off at the same moment, and while that is funny in a way, it's not, right?
I mean, no.
They just got the world record for the most vasectomies at once, Sam.
Well, my mind went in a completely different direction, which is Israel did something that, like the James Bond movies never did, which was death by exploding pager, right? Like we've had explosive pens in the movies, explosive watches, but like, man, the Pierce Brosnan era of Bond being in the 90s, they really missed out on the exploding pager gag.
But maybe somebody else did. Chat, if you find any movie, film, or television show where a pager was used in explosive, send me a link, because I think that's happened before, and I think it would be a funny bit to just watch it. And then think about those 2,000 men's testicles.
You know,
which don't exist anymore, Sam, because they got vaporized.
You know, I heard that MacGyver moved to Israel some years ago. Would make a lot of sense. So,
and then there was another round of it, by the way. That was the walkie-talkie thing. There was also potentially walkie-talkies that got lit off today. So there's that.
Well, shoot. So what are they down to now? Like, you know, like pretty soon they're gonna have to use like coffee cans and strings.
Yeah, they got the string in the can, and then it blows up. We have no communication left. Israel just puts the explosives on the string.
Yeah,
I don't know. It definitely is going to disrupt some of their communications, that's for sure.
Which, I mean, I kind of suppose is a good thing.
Well, I hear there were some texts exchanged after they went off, but a lot of them just said, ow, my balls.
Yeah. Oh. This is one of those times.
Do you know what the messages that made them go off said? One of them was like confirmed, said greetings from Israel, and one of them said it was a message from Rabbi Boom.
based.
Yeah. So no, I don't think they were gonna say it was a corroded battery. They signed this one. They were pretty happy with themselves. Which, to be fair, you're right. It is a pretty clever plan. I just,
That
blowing up balls. I kind of just feel like maybe, like even Carmen's. You don't shoot a guy in the dick, right? That's like, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm old fashioned. I don't enjoy the idea of mutilating men's genitals. Maybe it's just me.
I mean, as a guy myself, I don't particularly like that idea either.
Yeah.
That's probably an understatement, but yeah.
But at the same time,
I mean,
like,
are they trying to make transgenders?
That's it. Now they made the first 2,000 Muslim transgenders. Boom, one shot.
so now all these terrorists are in a conundrum, right? Because I guess if they're all transgenders, then they now have to like throw themselves off rooftops now.
No. And in Iran, actually, the only acceptable way to be gay is to turn trans. Did you know that? You can totally be gay in Iran as long as you go trans. That's true. That's 100% true. It's illegal to be gay, but they actually consider trans a woman, like more than we do. And so if you become a woman, you can go marry a guy.
This is my I just learned something new today face. Shoot, no wonder.
Yeah, Iran is actually one of the trans capitals of the world now too because of it.
Well, shoot, forget Queers for Palestine. That's where all the queers need to go now. They just need to go to Iran.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll take great care of them.
Probably.
But yeah. If you don't go trans, they throw you off a building, right? So.
Yeah.
Kind of limiting options, for a gay guy. Seems unfortunate. Not a fan of that. I think gay guys should not get thrown off buildings and just face God's punishment like everybody else.
Well, I think that
Snuck that one right in there under the radar.
I think that trans people should stop like punching gay people. And
is that a thing?
Well, yeah, because like it's no longer trendy just be gay.
True.
Now, so like if you're gay, and especially if you're a gay Trump supporter, like that's a that's a big no. And if you're like my barber who's a gay Trump supporter and who says, hey, maybe teenager is not trans, maybe they're just gay and that's okay, that really upsets the trans activists then, because how dare you say that someone is just simply gay, right?
Or maybe even because I'm willing to bet the guy, it sounds like a reasonable guy, might even entertain that they're none of those things and that they're being sold a bill of goods too, if you framed it right.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. And some of them, that is what happens and they regret it. But yeah, like imagine that. Imagine if you were a young gay boy, like one of those, boomer gays that actually had to like be a little concerned about it, transported to today, and instead of trying to figure out your way in life, they're just like, no, just cut your dick off, bro. What are you doing? You're a chick. And you're like, I don't feel like that. I just that's a bit much. And they're like, no, it's cool. Like, that's what gay guys do now, is they just cut their dick off and become a woman. And they're like, but I like dicks. You know, that's the whole point of being gay. You know what I mean? If you don't like dick, you're not gonna be a gay dude. There's just no question about that. I'm pretty sure that's the criteria, right?
Yeah.
So it's not surprising a lot of gay guys wouldn't be big fans of like removing dicks.
No, and in fact, like,
It'd be like Sam saying a girl should cut her tits off. You're never gonna hear that.
no, never. Well, in a lot of
or a girl should cut her ass off. Mort would never say that.
in a lot of gay conservatives actually, a lot of gay people I know actually think that trans people are homophobic in a way, and actually, that kind of makes sense.
Well, certainly
No.
the erasure of gay people as an identity is kind of not only like homophobic, but a little bit genocidal, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally, actually.
And hey, I'm not known as the best, most friendliest supporter of the gays, okay? But does seem like you're trying to
genociding themselves.
Yeah, you're trying to get rid of those gay dudes. It's pretty and black dudes, as a matter of fact. Straight black dudes have like the equal shit end of the stick in our modern society, right? Because yeah, they're black, but that's not enough anymore, right? Oh my God, you're straight, you're able-bodied, you don't identify as a fucking hairdresser or whatever the fuck they had. Like, you're just a no. Because I know so many normal black and Hispanic dudes, and they feel just as left behind by this progressive bullshit as you and I do. I'll tell you.
No, actually, like I've told you the story of my black friend from high school who loved Obama as, you know, teenager. He's now like all in on Trump, and he actually listens to the show, and it's like a huge, and he and I always got along, like back in the day. It's funny, we used to disagree on politics, but now he actually, like, when we reconnected, he actually said, Sam, you were right. So, and that was like the one time where, like, I kind of had to be a little bit of a dick and just be like, I'm sorry, can you repeat that again? And he was like, you were right. So
out of the estimated 3 million people in American prisons today, this is another, you'll learn something today, Sam. Out of the 3 million ish, 2.3 million. I'm sorry. 6.8 total correctional population. I was looking at a previous year. 6.8 million total correction population. African Americans make up 34% of that, 2.3 million. And gee, I wonder why a lot of them care about criminal justice reform, huh? It might seem like an important issue when your dad or your uncle or your mom or anybody else is in jail, but it's especially black men for a possession charge, which I think is ridiculous. Personally, think is ridiculous.
Your wife actually posts something that I wanted to bring up, which is Kamala Harris. She's not one of the border criminals or anything like that, or the cartels, but you know, if you're a parent and your kid missed school,
That's right. You go to the gulag, bitch.
Yeah. Even if a child has like a terminal, as like a really serious illness.
Yeah, they'd have locked your mom up if it was Kamala, huh?
Yeah, I mean, like
Because occasionally you might miss more than 10% of school for medical reasons, right?
yeah, even with doctor's notes and stuff like that.
I
Is
missed
10%?
all of my sophomore year and like 90% of my junior year because of medical issues.
Which isn't truancy. Because it's excused. Like, yeah, I hate that shit. 10%.
I had tutors through those 2 years.
Fair enough, but I'm still like, it's still not truancy, right? You're literally in a hospital or whatever. That shit drives me insane. Also, it's this incessant like obsession with the public school system that drives me insane as well, as if it's great, right? As if it's not a failing system. Like, I don't know, the way schools are nowadays, a day or two out of fucking school is probably helpful to most kids.
You know what I find amazing is like I went to a pretty good school, growing up in Denver, in Colorado, as far as like a public school goes, probably one of the best in the state, and yet I feel like I've learned just from the interviews I've done with like veterans and whatnot. I've learned more about like Cold War history from like talking to guests on this show in the last few years as an almost 30-year-old guy than I did about the entire Cold War in school. Like,
well, they didn't really teach a lot about it when I was in school, for sure. Except the propaganda, because we were still in it when I was young. But after the wall fell, American history classes usually stopped about the 50s. They touch on a lot of the stuff that happened in the 60s, and then that was it. That's usually where history books, when I was in school, ended, was the 60s. They might talk about the 70s, like the gas shortages, but like no 80s, no 90s, because you got to remember, I was in school in the 80s and 90s.
When I was in school,
talk about stuff like the Cuban Missile Crisis, not completely ignoring the Cold War, but not a lot. Not like you're saying, the guests you're talking to are talking about much more nuanced things that you wouldn't have ever learned in school.
Well, when I was in school, Max, like things actually didn't change that much, because when I was in school, history books really only went up through the 70s. And literally all we learned about, like, when it came,
they're probably the same fucking books, to be honest.
All we really covered when it came to the 70s was Richard Nixon got in trouble for Watergate. He's a bad man, and
they love to cover the 60s hippie shit.
Oh yeah,
and because all the teachers were boomers, especially in my day, and they were like, a good portion of teachers considered themselves hippies, whether they were or not at the time. And so yeah, they all love to glorify all the hippie shit, which is crazy because you're teaching it to children, like about free love and all this fucking shit, how great it was, flower power, and I'm like, I grew up, and then I looked at the degeneracy of the hippie movement, and I was like, why did parents let the teachers teach us about this? Oh, right, because they're all boomers, too, and they all think hippies are great. Yeah, fuck hippies. I don't think that's actually a controversial opinion to say fuck hippies. And people will be like, but Max, you have long hair, you must be a hippie, too. No, I'm not a hippie. Fuck hippies. Just because I smoke weed and have long hair, I am not a hippie by any stretch. I'm a metal dude. You know what hippies hate? Slayer. That's not a meme. That's true. If you play Slayer at a big thing of hippies, they will scatter.
That's true. You know who a lot of metalheads like though as far as presidents go. There's one metal band. I don't know if they did. They might have done it ironically, but uh, I'm pretty sure I saw one metal band that had like Rich Nixon as like an album cover or something.
Oh well, yeah. Punk and metal bands used him, but they used him as the bad guy for the most part, and they would do ironically. Yeah. I know what you mean,
Yeah.
but they weren't supportive.
Probably not, but
The problem is the entire like arts kind of movement has been controlled, and this is kind of what we were getting at earlier with talking about the bands, the books, and all of this stuff. And I even touched on it a little bit, talking about Christian rock becoming cringe, right? The problem is that the left has artists that make art that are tangential to the cause. The right says, hey guys, you know what we need? Art like they got. That's not how you get good art. That's how you get cringy Christian rock.
yeah.
And I can point to amazing Christian rock bands, by the way. I'm not painting the whole genre with that brush, but a lot of them are cringy, right? A lot of them do lean into the stuff that's like everybody knew. You know, you go to youth group and they're it's a rock group, but they're not as the ones on the radio are a little cooler, huh? That's what happens when you say we have a movement that needs art, not we have art that needs a movement. And that is our big problem.
Yeah, the problem with a lot of Christian rock and a lot of the problem with like Christian books and whatnot is that they bash you over the head with like Christian themes and whatnot.
Skillet.
Honestly, that's one of the reasons why the Lord of the Rings and why even Tolkien, not Tolkien, but C.S. Lewis, why like the Chronicles of Narnia worked so well is like now kind of is like tied directly to Christianity, but like back then, like it was fantasy that didn't bash, that wasn't like over the top.
I wasn't looking for a movement. He just had a story to tell.
Right.
That's a mentality I try to do with everything here is like, if I'm making something, it's not, oh God, we need art for our company. It's or we need art for the movement. It's not we need art for the movement. It's I want to make this. I want to make this kind of message. I want to make this kind of statement. When you do that, when you say we need art for a movement, it's always going to be bad. That's how you get Tim Pool's band.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree Tim Pool's band was like the worst thing that's ever existed.
Hashtag woke video games.
Yeah, woke video. Well, no, that's a different. You're not right. Actually, you're wrong. Woke video games comes from they need to take over your art with their movement. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And then the ones that do that are equally as bad at it as the ones that we need art for a movement. So that's why they both look equally bad. But actually, the woke video games is an intentional thing by people with no artistic skill or minimal artistic skill. They are different. So, but the underlying cause is similar for sure.
Well, and that's why, like, I'm glad you brought up the movement needing an art as opposed to art needing a movement. Like that's why, like, partially why I wrote like the John Ryder saga, why I've been writing it the way I have. It's not necessarily that like I'm trying to like write like a conservative.
There's no popular movement that goes with the art that you're making. You're your art in need of a movement, like I said. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And there is, though, because you found the movement. The movement is all of these other authors that we're now, you're making connections with and everything. And that's really cool because they're doing this. It seems to me anyway, a lot of the guys we talk to, that's what they're doing. They have art, right? And whether it's tangential to a movement already or whether there's just no movement for it, they have art and it says something. And that to me is because what's the alternative nowadays besides art that's like meaningful and made for a point by a person? Corpo shit. And everybody's so sick of corpo shit. That's why we can, pulse a few numbers here is because we're just not corpo. We're just not. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Sam Whitfield Report, and here is our spot. It's not that. Like, we do that sometimes for the lulls, but that's not what they're coming for. It is. We are a little unpolished. We are a little off the cuff. It's raw. Because if you want something that's polished, and if you want something that's not off the cuff, and if you want somebody that's, run it by every focus group to see if they might offend anybody, well, you can get that anywhere. We offend everybody. If you're looking for that, hey, come on over. And then I'll say something that will totally offend you and drive you away, as I tend to do.
The
people don't realize I'm not that serious, and you shouldn't take things I say all that serious.
The other
that's gotta be like, that's gotta hurt when you figure that out, huh? Not to take me serious. Like, imagine getting offended by me, Sam.
No, imagine getting offended by you. Imagine getting offended by me because I have a guest on that might, say something.
I know, and you're actually nice. I'm a dick. How's this even happen?
Imagine getting offended by the cripple that has no face.
Well, yeah, you more I know for sure. I think you both saw. I was talking to Native Patriot earlier on Twitter, and he was saying, like, everybody's fucking, you're not a real Indian. You're not really Native American. I was like, yeah, don't worry. My two guys in wheelchairs I know get the same fucking shit. Because you don't go along with the message, so you're not one of us. And it's like, hey, that would be great. If going against the message meant that Sam wasn't crippled anymore, I'm sure he'd be very fucking happy with that, but it's not how it works. He's still disabled, and you still have to acknowledge that.
What? Listen,
I'd go against the fucking message all the goddamn time if I could not be crippled.
Yeah. Right? Wouldn't that be the easiest thing in the world? Wouldn't that be fucking wonderful? Doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You don't get to say they're not disabled like everybody else. You don't get to say he's not a fucking Indian, right? Just because they don't fit into your little bubble. And Twitter can keep telling me that I'm black, but I don't know. I'm confused now, Sam. Why does it tell me I'm black? Am I black, Sam? Twitter says I'm black.
Well,
the AI, and it's artificial intelligence. It's right in the name. Can it be wrong?
Well, I mean, you could be black, and you could be black where it matters. But that
I do have dope rhymes. You're right about that, Sam.
Yes. Yeah.
I spit fire,
like.
See, Sam's heard my mixtape. That's how he knows I'm black where it matters.
Yeah.
In the studio.
Well, also, like, you're cooking, like, to like make some of those good down home recipes, right?
That's true. I don't wash my chicken though, Sam. I can't be black. Twitter's wrong. I know it. Because if I was black, I would definitely be washing my chicken. But sometimes you gotta thaw the chicken and you run it on. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wait, is my mom
Max is black.
Wait, is my mom black then?
Wait, she
Oh.
washes her chicken?
Yeah, Whoa. I have.
Do you use soap? Because if no, then you don't wash your chicken. You're not black.
Okay, my wife says, does she use soap?
No, unless you count that, like, she does use the pesticide, the pesticide removal thing on fruit, but I don't think that's the same thing.
No, chicken, and you'll use like dish soap. That's what washing your chicken is. Yeah, they do.
I don't think so.
Then you're good.
Okay, well then she's not black.
Oh.
I guess I'm not either then, thank God. Oh. I mean, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter to me either way, but man, like I've lived 40 years as a white man, and all of a sudden Twitter's like, yo, let me tell you a little secret about yourself, Max. And I was like, no. No, then why did they all call me Whitey?
Well, I mean, you could be, you could just be like Steve Martin in that one movie, the Jerk, right?
I was born a poor black child. You're right. That's true.
So, well, like, apparently I can't really be crippled because I don't know what it's like to have like an identity crisis or whatnot. So clearly, and clearly,
I'm still blown away months later that I'm the cripple Uncle Tom.
That is my favorite, like, chef kiss, like, Twitter bullshit I've ever seen. Is calling you guys, and by the way, these were able-bodied people, right? Calling you guys the crippled Uncle Toms. Which I'm like, hey, can I just explain to you, able-bodied left-wing person, that is racist, ableist, and probably a couple other ones rolled up into one by especially their standards, let alone ours.
Well, you know what I love is I never thought I would be able to use this, but like I've talked about like I have family members who have like severe Trump derangement syndrome, and one of them said, "Sam, how can someone like you vote for Trump?" And I never thought I would be able to use this, but I was only able to use the "What do you mean, you people?" I never thought I would be able to use that line unironically, but after
What do you mean, someone like me?
Yeah,
huh? What's that supposed to?
yeah,
That's always fun. Yeah, you don't get many opportunities for that in your life, but when you do, you should always double down on it. Maybe I am black. Holy shit. The evidence is starting to pile up, Sam.
Well, I do like blues music, right? So
yeah, I don't know. You're not the biggest fan of the hippity hops, though.
That's true.
My wife's cringing because I said the hippity hops. The music, the beep bop scooby doop that the kids play.
Yeah. The majority of white kids play.
Yeah, true. That's why I knew I was white. But Twitter is just blowing my mind.
I think the term that it was when we were growing up, Max, was wigger.
That is true. Can we say that anymore? Is that the W word now?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I actually don't think it. Like, I think that one you're still allowed to say, but it should be the W word.
Can we use the C word? And by C word I mean cracker.
Oh, we've always done that, but that's because it never bothered us. That's the thing. Is like if you're not bothered by the slurs, it's not very effective. Hence why so many young black men use the N-word nonstop. It doesn't offend them.
You know
except what? When somebody else says it to them, which is weird, but
Sam and I are crippled crackers.
You know what? There was a comedian a few years, like probably 15 years ago, named Mike Birbiglia, and he actually did a bit where he talked about the word cracker, and he said that like one of his black friends, called him a cracker, and just to mess with the guy, Mike goes, that's our word. I can say cracker, but you can't. That's our word.
I always found it funny that cracker is considered the equivalent, and it's not even. It's like there's way worse shit you could call white boys. Peck of wood, fucking, my God, there's so many great slurs for white people. And for some reason, white people are so lame they think cracker is the pinnacle. Like, no, it's really not. It doesn't even make sense. Why crackers aren't white, except specifically for saltines. Which then, why wouldn't you say saltine? It's a bad slur, is my point. Also, like slurs that have harder sounds, particularly like double G's. Sound better. Think about how many slurs have like a double G.
Yeah.
It sounds like a slur when you have that. For whatever reason. There's just that harsh sound to it. People just know it's a slur and then it becomes one.
Same with any slur. Same with any one that starts with like C or has C. Or has like a hard C in it.
Oh, Roman says white people cracked the whip. Okay. Well, I'm Irish and my family were slaves, so yeah, fuck those crackers.
I too am
fucking fight the power, man.
am Irish. And
wait, so it just means Brits? I get it now. Yeah, fuck them. God.
And
British people. Like, that's even a thing, right? It's like, why are you British? You're from England. They're so dumb,
Yeah.
The thing is, white people don't have any culture. Why is that specifically an American thing and not a British thing?
Yeah, exactly. Because at least America's got culture. British. What is British culture? Shitty food.
Yeah.
And Doctor Who turning into a woman or whatever. Like that's British culture.
Well, that and also aristocrat incest.
Hey, Sam, I got one that's going to trigger my wife that I came across today. So did you know that they're removing the first Doctor Who canonically from the series and saying he wasn't a doctor because he might have had right-wing views?
That's fucking ridiculous.
No. You mean the 9th Doctor?
No, I mean the first Doctor.
Like the original first Doctor?
Yes.
What the fuck?
He is no longer, because it didn't say he was a Time Lord or that he was the Doctor. He was just called Doctor Who. So they're saying he's not actually Doctor Who anymore.
Same fucking person that is just regenerated over and fuck them. They can take it and shove it up their fucking asses. Fucking goddamn assholes. Fucking ruin everything we fucking care about. I fucking hate them. What the fuck? He's the Doctor. You. Oh!
Let's go, Maxine.
Oh shit! I'm gonna rip your hair out.
I saw that one today and thought it might get a good moment out of the show.
Hashtag Maxine rant.
Hashtag Max is gonna die.
No, don't shoot him.
Hashtag hide the body.
No.
Yeah, I'm not the BBC. I didn't make
You're
this
the one-
choice.
But you are the one that purposely brought it to my attention to get me to freak out.
Right, because that's good content. Oh.
What?
That.
You haven't got one of those in a while.
See, it's good content. So anyway,
They should get rid of the fucking female one because she fucking sucked ass.
well, I'm glad I didn't watch that show if she's sucking asses. That's gross.
Really fucking horrible. She was like the worst Doctor that ever existed, except for the new fucking flaming fag.
Wait, isn't that the David Tennant?
Watch it.
Pretty sure he's the modern Doctor, though, right?
No, he was the 10th Doctor.
Uh-huh,
I'm
and-
talking about the Doctor right now, which is the black guy that totally is a flamer, and they don't hide it at all.
Yeah, also David Tennant's Doctor is back in gay. I told you about that.
I'm gonna go drown myself.
Anyway, they brought him back on as showrunner, so he woke the place up.
Yeah, well,
Because of course he did.
I hate to, I'm.
And Roman in chat says the Doctor Who be rimmin'. I need that doctor in my life for real, for real.
I'm going to make Morthis upset here, but apparently Henry Cavill, who I have no idea what his political opinions are whatsoever, but apparently he's out of the. From what I've read, he's like out of consideration for James Bond because he's like, I guess, considered like too right wing.
He's too center right.
They don't actually know, but they know that he's Christian and he doesn't hide it, and that's good enough for them to cancel him.
They know he's not a nut job lefty.
Mm-hmm. That's all it takes.
All I'm saying is that, like, in my...
But you're right, Sam. He's not made very many statements on political issues. They are intuiting that he's a right-winger. They have nothing to base that on.
All I'm saying, and I've made...
All I know is my man's a nerd, so I will back him 100%.
All I'm saying is that, like, he's read all the Witcher books, and he's look... the reason why he would be such a good James Bond is because, like, he's read all of the original Fleming novels, so he knows, or at least should know, how to actually like play Bond from
exactly the things that the man's interested in. He knows his lore.
Well, like the Warhammer thing that's gone to complete shit. They brought him in. They said, hey, Amazon, and they said, hey, make a Warhammer show, right? And we'll finance it. And they were going to let him go wild because he's an actual Warhammer guy. He plays Warhammer. He's read the books. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. But then they decided that the Games Workshop needed to change established lore to make the Custodes, who are Space Marines. Yes, they are. I don't care. You can split hairs all you want. That's Sam and Mort are going to be like, what the fuck nerd shit is he on about? But yes, Custodes are Space Marines, god damn it. They are not a different entity, and thus only males are appropriate candidates to be Space Marines, but Amazon mandated that there had to be a female Space Marine on the show, so they changed it to say Custodes, they're not actually Space Marines, and sure, yeah, they have women's, that's fine. And Henry's just like, okay, if we're going to make this a political thing, and he walked. So they're still making the show without him. They changed the lore of Warhammer itself to do this.
It's the same reason why he left The Witcher.
Same reason he left The Witcher, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they try and drive him out of any project because, again, they assume that he's a radical, far right. We don't know. And you can't really find any quotes because he's very careful about that.
And he might, and like I said, like he's probably more like a centrist.
Yeah.
I would actually say,
I think he's more of a 90s liberal than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what a centrist is. That's kind of what a centrist is. Well, like the funny thing is, like, as I've gotten older, like, I wouldn't really say my politics have changed, but like, I guess some people could consider me to be a bit of a centrist. Maybe a little. That's the other thing too. Is like it's so hard. It's so hard to like really figure out where you are in the political spectrum these days.
Because they didn't just move the Overton window; they smashed it, and then they stretched its corpse over the
Yeah.
And so, yeah, do you know where you belong on the political spectrum? No, because it changes every day. Do we on the show generally lean more towards like the center right than a lot of the people? Mm-hmm. We definitely do. We definitely are kind of hostile to some of like maybe the conspiratorial elements sometimes. And we try to look for like Occam's razor for a lot of things.
We do, but we're also, and I really have nothing bad to say about like Dan Bongino for example. Let's just use him. We don't necessarily like cheerlead for like. That's the thing is we like Trump, but we don't cheerlead and like constantly cover Trump 24/7 either per se.
Or anything, like even politics is touch and go. Like, how many stories do we just find not relevant enough to even talk about? Again, though, there is a difference. We're doing one show live a week, then you do your interviews, and we do our other stuff. So it's not like these guys who are 5 days a week, 3 hours a day talking nothing but politics. So I'll cut them slack in that regard, but I do think we just generally fall more towards a center right mindset. That's kind of why we're all here, if anything.
Yeah.
You know, we're not, let's say, gonna drive off somebody just because they have like one left-wing policy, right? Or like a lot of libertarian policies. You notice they get treated pretty harshly from the right. Now, I've been harder on libertarians than pretty much anybody, but I also share some libertarian beliefs, and so does people in our chat who are regulars. So, I think we're actually just more accepting of we might not be center in what we believe, but I think we're center in that we're accepting of other people having different opinions.
Yeah. Although I will say this.
You mean the right's generally more accepting than the left? Holy shit.
I think we're more accepting than most of the right, though.
Yeah, although I
would agree.
Although I will say, to be fair, you're also not like a cheer. necessarily like a lot of the right has like automatically like cheered like RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard, and you're like you specifically are one of the few people who are kind of like, hold on a sec, something doesn't like smell
It
quite
doesn't pass
right.
the sniff test.
Yeah. Look,
So,
Trump having those people around that's good. I actually think that's good. When people suggest to me
yeah,
them as alternatives to him, or like in the future, it might be Tulsi, and I'm like, oh, I ain't gonna vote for her. I ain't gonna vote for her. I had this discussion, I think, on the show with Apex not that long ago. I just can't,
yeah,
right? Because of some of the things she said in the past, I'm not willing. Like when somebody says that they want to ban private ownership of firearms in this country, which Tulsi did, I don't think that's a small thing
all
that you can just flip flop on and I'll
Nor
be
do I.
okay with it.
so here's a thought that
Frankly, I don't trust anybody who voted for Obama 2 times. That's how low my standard. Like if you tell me you voted for Obama twice, I'm already sus on you.
yeah,
Once makes sense. Because he lied, right? The first time he ran, he was just full of shit. Oh, I'm going to end the wars, hope and change. Yeah, I could get that, right? You voted for him the second time? I just assume you're stupid.
yeah. No, and that's fair. Here's what I want to see. This is so in regards to the debate, we all kind of like, we figured the debate did nothing. I'm actually more interested in like seeing I'm more interested in seeing a VP debate at this point than I am seeing another like presidential debate. Partially because like I don't know if it's just me, but like I actually like the only time I've paid attention to JD Vance was his speech at the RNC. And I'd partially like to see his like debate style and how he takes that commie Tim Walz on.
Yeah. I think that the VP debate will be batshit, to be honest with you.
And
partially because of JD. Like
It'll
he
be
can be a little off the wall, but mostly Tim Walz, because that dude's a fucking lunatic.
oh yeah, and by the way, that debate, I don't know if we talked about this, but that debate, Trump actually was right about the pets being eaten and whatnot. I know people are memeing that, but he actually wasn't wrong on that. And also, fuck ABC because David Muir like worked for the DNC, and then what's your face was Kamala's sorority sister. So neutral moderators, my fucking ass.
So I got a story related to pet things. Okay, so I was out and about yesterday, taking a walk as I do, as you may know, and I come to sit down. Up here, we got a chain called Cumberland Farms. We call it Cumbies. It's like a 7-Eleven. It's a convenience store. They have coffee and stuff. The one downtown here, there's a path behind it next to the river and a nice little spot where you can sit and have lunch, right? And so I go to sit there, and sitting on the little seat that I sit on was, I don't know how well it'll come across on camera here, but was this. Can you see that, Sam?
Yeah, it looks like a flip-flop, maybe something else.
It's a pet collar.
Oh.
So I look at the collar and there's a name on it. The name I believe was Penny, and a phone number. And I was like, there's a lot of immigrants around now, Sam. They're like everywhere.
Oh,
And I had noticed them all day. They just busted a bunch more into my town not that long ago, actually. And I sat down and I looked at that and I was thinking about this Ohio stuff. And I was like, should I call and tell this person I found their pet collar? And it was awkward, but I did, right? So I called, I left a message. I told them I found the collar. I told them where it was and that I didn't know there was no pet near it. So I didn't know, if the pet's lost or anything. But if they are, then they were probably around this area to try and help them out. But the lady called me back a little while later and thank you so much. My daughter's been worried sick since our cat lost the collar. And I was like, so the cat's okay. That was my big. And she's like, yeah, I could tell by your voice on the message that you were concerned about the pet being missing. I was like, yeah, hey man, if I lost my pet, I would want somebody to call me. So
yeah.
Or even the collar, right? If you find a pet collar and there's a number on it, it's polite to call.
I mean, you sent me that picture and the first thing I
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I sent that picture to my wife, and the first thing she thought was the same thing. Oh my God, somebody ate a cat. But the immigrants we get are South American, let's just say, not Haitian.
We have a big Cambodian population, and my aunt years ago when I was a kid almost ate cat soup because they were stealing cats in the neighborhood and making cat soup. So
there was the Cambodian cat soup incident, but that was like the 90s. Long story.
Funny.
Also, Sam, why is it such a big deal that these Haitians are eating cats when Chinese people have been serving us cats for fucking decades?
You know what?
All of a sudden, eating cats is bad? Well, then, hey, why did you go out for Chinese food?
You know what? Like, I was going to ask that. Like,
you don't think Chinese restaurants use cats?
I'm gonna make it so I'll never eat Chinese food again.
Depends on the restaurant.
Dude, don't. Gonna make me barf.
Hey, look, there's nothing wrong with cat meat. It's not fatty. It's not gamey because they're domestic animals.
well, I mean, listen, they have to start like, I mean, if Comrade Kamala wins, we're gonna be a communist country anyway. So like, we're gonna have to get used to eating pets to stay alive, right? That's
Cats.
what, and dogs too. Like,
How dare you? What is wrong with you? Jeez, Sam. You're sick.
No.
Look. Eating vermin is one thing, okay? But dogs are part of the family.
Yeah. Yes, but the Chinese were forced to eat dogs because under Mao they starved. So
Well, that's why we don't have that problem, you see, because we have a rampant cat lady problem. There will be plenty of food.
Wait. So
if you get hungry in that world, all you gotta do is find that one old lady, and she's got plenty of cats. You'll have a whole barbecue.
Wait. Hold on. Hear me on this. Can I eat the cat lady?
Then you're a cannibal.
Yes.
Max!
Cat lady. Cat ladies, especially named Taylor Swift, aren't human. So no, I'm not. I'm not a cat lady.
Well, I mean, in her case, she's a reptilian, so it's fine.
So okay, yeah. So
It's okay if you eat reptilians, or as we've discussed previously, journalists are insectoid beings. It's okay to eat them too. But they don't. Journalists don't taste good because they're so full of shit. You gotta be careful with that, and they might make you sick.
Well, I mean, so that's what they. So that's what they meant when they said you'll eat the bugs. They want us to eat the journos then.
Yeah. That's the long game. Look, a communist regime can't have journalists going around. You think they're not going to throw them under the bus eventually? Yeah, they're going to feed them to us. And once they realize that's happening, you're just going to hear all those clicks and hisses out of their thoraxes, and then you'll know. Cats, journalists, and reptilians are perfectly fine to eat in a starvation situation.
Well, look,
they're not dogs, you fuck. They're dogs. No, you eat journalists, Sam. Journalists. Dogs are people.
Oh dear.
Well, dogs are man's best friend. That's not the same thing as.
Well, would you be best friends with somebody that's not people? There you go.
That is true. So
you're not gonna be best friends with a beaver.
I mean, my service dog was pretty close to human. May he rest in peace.
Well, I guess you could be best friends with a beaver, but that's a whole. Never mind.
Oh my god! What the hell, babe?
It's one of those nights. So what else is in the news? Since we're eating journalists and cats, could it get worse?
I keep seeing something out about P. Diddy or something, but I feel like we covered that months ago.
I feel like I've been saying it for so long. So now that he's arrested, can the people that were like, no, Max, you're full. Can I get a Max was right? Never mind. Yes. It was an open secret in hip hop. There's songs in the 90s by Tupac talking about Diddy raping little boys. This is not new, and all of them pretending that they didn't know are hypocrites. And hey, you remember who was great friends with Diddy? That's right, Barack Obama.
Yeah.
In fact, Barack Obama used to go to the freak-offs. Can you imagine?
Actually, I can. I actually can imagine that, given. Well, I mean, people
he
didn't
mostly indulge because he's too in love with his husband Michael, but.
Well, people forget, but Michelle Obama. Once said that Michael once said that Harvey Weinstein was a super positive role model, and was
they've all said it,
and was
they all used to say all wonderful shit about him, and then they would also make jokes about how he was a rapist, and then Me Too happened, and they were like, Weinstein? Who could have seen this coming? They're doing it with Diddy now. They did it with R. Kelly. Every fucking time, they're all in on it, but then the guy gets Epstein, Weinstein, they're all like, ooh, Diddy? Huh, the shock. Bro, Tupac, literally in 1995, it's a song with Casey and JoJo. We're literally talking about Diddy being a child molester, okay? Diddy being a child molester came up in multiple interviews with DMX, with Mace, the former Bad Boy employee, had said that when he left the fucking label in 2001. These parties were well known. They advertised these freak off parties. If you watched MTV Video Music Awards at any point, they advertised these very parties he's going to jail for on MTV to young children. So to tell me that none of these people knew what the fuck was going on, how stupid do you think I am?
As Morpheus likes to say, that's sus as fuck.
Mm-hmm. And he's not alone, Jay-Z. I said this on Twitter earlier today, Sam, didn't I? I said specifically all about Diddy, and I named other names. Jay-Z. I named other names. Eminem. They're all up to the same shit. They go to the same parties. They hang out with the same people. So if they're not doing it, they know about it. So what's the fucking difference? Yeah, Diddy. I hope.
And if they know about it and not saying anything, they're fucking assholes.
1,000 bottles of baby oil, Sam. You heard that, right?
I just now saw a meme on X about baby.
1,000 bottles of Johnson & Johnson brand baby oil. Now, that alone is grounds for an investigation in my mind. Who has a house stocked with 1,000 bottles of baby oil, and why? Now, there might be an innocent excuse for that, right? That's why it's an investigation. I don't think we should necessarily... It's not illegal, per se, but shouldn't we have a list when you're buying that much baby oil and you're not like a professional wrestler or something?
I just want to bring this meme up for
God damn it.
For this is literally why I asked about the P Diddy
Scroll
thing.
down.
So for the
That's a good one, Sam.
So for the folks listening on audio, someone brought back the Jesse Smollett memes, and it says, they poured baby oil on me and yelled, "This is Diddy country." So congrats.
Now I want to talk about another thing real quick. Is the Views reaction? Whoopi Goldberg and at least one other broad from The View was defending Diddy by saying having 1,000 bottles of baby oil is not a crime. Now, they're right. However, it seems that they missed the rest of the fucking indictment where they found drugs, unlicensed, unregistered guns, fucking with the fucking serial numbers filed off. Diddy's going to jail, and it might not necessarily be about the sexual abuse stuff, but he definitely had drugs and illegal firearms in his fucking home, in addition to those 1,000 bottles of baby oil. And let's not forget about the affidavits of the victims. Let's not forget about the forensic evidence in the case. Let's not forget about the video evidence. Whoopi Goldberg, yes, it's perfectly fucking legal to have baby oil, but how retarded are you? We all know she's retarded, and hey, I can sympathize being a fellow retard. But Whoopi, you need to get your retardation under control. It's harmful.
Max, there's normal retardation, and then there's Hollywood retardation.
Yeah. See, all you had to do was look at the indictment for the rest of the sentence, but Whoopi got to, they found 1,000 bottles of baby lotion. He's innocent.
Well, like, so.
Hey, Whoopi, what if Donald Trump had 1,000 bottles of baby lotion?
Well, then, like,
I stand by.
Then he'd be immediately fucking guilty.
Yeah,
true, but I stand by what I said. Anyone with 1,000 bottles of baby lotion in their home, there's some questions that need to be asked. I'm not saying it's a crime. I'm just saying we should put that person's name on a list and remember it. Keep track of it.
Well,
That's a lot of baby oil. How much baby oil do I have in the house? 0. None. Sam, how much baby oil do you have?
none.
Like on hand?
None.
None?
Also, none.
Man, I figured you would have at least a little bit because I figure you're the kind of guy that likes to like exfoliate and moisturize, but I was wrong. That's good.
I mean, look, I do have like have like 1,000 bottles of sunscreen, but that's because I live in Florida, where like,
Well, yeah, and you're pale as a fucking goat. Like I can relate, so that's different.
No, the other thing that I love is like, well, Diddy can't be a can't be a molester because he's getting brought up on RICO charges. So like, clearly that's different, right? That's the logic I've heard. So yeah, like or organized crime though is like no big deal, according to some of these people.
They do, right? I got a clip for you, Sam. I'm gonna link you a clip with a timestamp that's relevant to the situation. I actually breaking news right here on the Whitfield Report is I have footage of the Diddy arrest, Sam. You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna send you the link on Twitter. This is you got to go from the timestamp though, okay? It's very important. This is actual footage of the Diddy arrest in progress. It's going to be breaking news. We have the first of it here. It's a live Whitfield Report live exclusive. You got it?
I've got your DMs pulled up.
Well, I sent it's in the crew chat.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Because that was the first one I had up. But yes, we got the live exclusive. We're gonna witness in all of its glory what this arrest looked like, and
okay. Okay. I've got it, and you're right. This is wow.
Exclusive.
This is very exclusive.
I mean, he made me look like a little bitch.
No, you're right.
And we're gonna let these people know that we pissed.
Amen. Why we pissed?
Bitch, you better recognize why the fuck we pissed.
See, this was right before the police rolled in.
Why we pissed, dog?
I got the baby. Oh, who's mother in the rug? In the rug. Motherfucker, shut up. In the rug.
There you have it.
Fuck up.
Wow.
I got the baby. Oh, who but we finna rub. Finna rub. Sorry, Sam. Had to.
I mean,
it's not often baby oil is relevant enough for that clip.
I mean, that actually is pretty relevant if you think about it. And very.
Hey, look, Diddy might get all these mainstream accolades and awards and stuff, right? And ICP's the most hated band in the world. Guess which one's not accused of being a child molester?
ICP.
It's not Diddy. No, I triple negative. It's fine. It's all fine. Look, Diddy is a sick fuck, and I thought that the baby oil segment was a pretty good one.
Listen,
the movie's called Big Money Hustlers, and you can watch it for free on YouTube.
And that was Big Stank and Little Poop. I fucking love those motherfuckers.
So you right.
Listen. Someone actually brought up a good point to me in text the other day, that it was always weird that Sean Combs went under the name of like P. Diddy, which sounds an awful lot like P. Diddle.
To be fair,
or pedal diddler.
To be fair, it was like an evolution. Like, to be fair, Kanye did the same thing, changing his name a bunch of times. So he started off as Puff Daddy, and then he changed it to P. Diddy for short, and then he just changed it to Diddy. So he's a diddler, and he was a diddler the whole time. So he knew that he was doing that. But it can be forgiven for most other people to think, it's just a coincidence until, the baby oil and everything.
Yeah. But anyway, well, anything else on the docket tonight? I think we covered. I almost forgot about the Diddy thing, and then I remembered. So
it would be really funny. Just an idea I had throughout the week. It would be really funny if the Pod Awful cult sent Mersh 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
That would be funny, and Mersh would probably actually, well, I mean, he might need 1,000 bottles of baby oil with how big he is.
Oh, right. So. I did have one more thing, Sam, an honest thing. So I did an informal poll today. Have you seen the Minecraft trailer? It's pretty rough.
I have not seen the Minecraft trailer.
Watch the trailer for the Minecraft film starring Jack Black as Steve. And so I was talking to somebody, actually Gooster, shout out to the German. And I said kind of flippantly, well, kids will still go see Minecraft, even if the trailer is awful, because it's Minecraft. I take that back. I was wrong, because I did an informal poll outside my son's school this morning as we were waiting, and I just asked a couple kids that were around, hey, what do you guys think of the Minecraft movie? And you know what the responses were, Sam? I'm going to quote the most common thing that was said to me. Steve's not fat. They don't like it at all. They don't like Jack Black as Steve. They said that some of them said his beard was gross, that he looked like a homeless person, and that's not Steve. And then the other thing they all said is that the actual art of like the Minecraft world looks nothing like fucking Minecraft, and none of them were excited for it. Literally, I'm talking an entire class of like kids, maybe 30 to 40 children, and not one of them said they wanted to see it, which a lot of parents were like, yeah, that's what less we have to deal with. But it's amazing to me that kids are that negative on the Minecraft movie. But yes, they made Steve, who if you've never played Minecraft and you're not familiar, that's the main character that you play as initially, like by default. And so these kids are attached to Steve because he is their avatar through which they experience the world. Yeah. He's an important character to them, even though by Hollywood standards, Jack Black thinks he's a fucking genius. He said this. He said it was genius what he did because he's subverting the trope. Bitch, the trope is that he's a pair of pants for the kid to experience the world through. They can slip on that pair of pants, and now they're in Minecraft world. By you putting your personal characteristics and your ideas and your stupid fucking jokes onto Steve, you alienated these kids from a character that they loved dearly. And they all said, and that's me obviously analyzing the children, but I'll tell you what they said. Steve's not fat. That's not Steve. And I don't want to see that movie. So. And they didn't even know who Jack Black was. They're not,
that's the problem.
Based, yeah.
They're like 8 and 9 and 10-year-old kids, right? They don't know who Jack Black really is. He's a like millennial comedian, you know?
Yeah, that's what I like. Jack Black is actually like from my era, you know, of like, and like you and really like you ask anyone from my generation, like, why is Jack Black relevant? It's like School of Rock, like that's the only thing that he was like really.
Well, I was talking to my wife about this. I was like, I don't think you like Jack Black as much as you think, and she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, all right, well, like, think of all the best movies you've seen him in. And she named a couple. And then I was like, are they in your top 100 films of all time? Anything he's ever done? And she was like, you know what? No. Like, that's it. He's mid. That's it. And that's true of everybody. With very rare exceptions, you're not going to put his films in your top 5. You're probably not going to put him in your top 10. You're probably not going to put him in your top 50.
Here's a question for you, gentlemen. Jack Black or Chris Farley?
I mean, that's just blasphemous to even compare.
That's kind of my
one
point,
was
though.
funny.
I agree. That's my point, though.
Hold on. I'll take your question differently. Which one should die of a heart attack? Never mind.
Okay. I have a fair one. If we're going to compare like 2000s movies, School of Rock or Napoleon Dynamite.
Neither.
Also neither.
Yeah. I really didn't like Napoleon Dynamite.
Me either.
I liked School of Rock, but not enough to pick it. The question assumes that I would watch either one
of the two. I like it because I'm a music guy, but not enough to pick the movie.
That's fair. I bring the two up because the reason why I bring that comparison though is because like both of those movies are kind of like equally like you either love them or hate them. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, Jack Black is fat, disgusting. He purposely refused to lose weight, refused to shave, refused to cut his hair. They were trying to get him to look like Steve from the game, and he said, no, it would be so much better if I made jokes and I wasn't the everyman and I was me and I'm fat and ha 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 ha, subvert the trope. Bitch, your main demographic is kids, and they don't understand subversion, and they don't like it. And so,
yeah,
if this movie actually, I was like, there's no way the Minecraft movie could possibly bomb. There's no way, right? It's Minecraft. I think it's gonna bomb. I think it's gonna bomb specifically because of Jack Black's fat ass. God, he's fucking 50, bro.
Yeah, fucking deserve
Get some goddamn. He's a millionaire. Disgusting.
Yeah. You want to know the other funny thing that happens this week, Max? Is Ryan Wilson, or however you pronounce his name, basically Dwight from The Office for Maxine, basically made this 15-minute video talking like how he was going to quit Twitter because Elon's made it a quote-unquote right-wing sanctuary.
Yeah, all the Office people are a bunch of fucking leftist losers.
Well, what's funny though is like
find Dwight, go to fucking Facebook.
Well, what's funny though is like he made this big statement, and everyone's reaction was literally just to like shrug and be like, Okay, bye.
Yeah, that's called flounce posting. It's the oldest thing in the internet. I'm leaving, and here's all the reasons I'm leaving, and I'm never coming back. And then a week later, they're posting again.
Yeah, and and then he got upset that like no one cared. It's just that's actually that's actually the funniest thing that he's ever done is to actually do that. I'm leaving pose.
Yeah, I don't know much. I don't even know who the guy is.
This is not an airport. You don't need to announce your departure.
Mean shit to me.
Pretty much.
I just like my wife's like, oh, he was it doesn't matter what he was in. I don't know who this guy is. I know that The Office is the gayest show I've ever seen.
Facts.
Like literally, I cannot think of a less funny thing than The Office. It's never made me laugh, not once. And my wife puts it on nonstop, so I'm not just It's just not funny.
Parks and Recreation, but it's basically the same show.
Right. Yeah, everybody's, oh yeah, Parks and Rec. You'll like it, Max, because there's a libertarian guy that they make fun of. Fuck you and your stupid Office shows with your bad writing. God, if you think that's really funny, then man, you hate Laurel and Hardy. You despise the Three Stooges. You just could not enjoy the Marx Brothers, right? Like, good Lord, this is what comedy's been reduced to is everybody's a human resource guy. If anything, that show is why we have so many fucking cat ladies in this country. Because it encouraged them all. Yeah, be weird, antisocial, socially awkward, autistic faggots. Oh, damn it! I said the thing, Sam. That's still true, though. That's what they are.
Hey, Max, you said my favorite F slur though, so it's okay.
I know, but I've been trying not to say it.
Well,
Sam says it. Mort says it. I just try not to.
Well, look,
in your defense, Max, you don't say it that often.
That's true.
Look, Max. Unlike Melanie Mac, at least you can say it without flinching.
Yeah. Oh, they are a bunch of goats. Yeah, that was Melanie Mac. Yeah, she doesn't clearly say that word ever. Look, The Office is gay.
But you know what? You know what's not gay. In fact, just the opposite of gay. My new short story, which let me see. Yep, it is displaying. I said I had an announcement to make, and this is it. Ladies and gentlemen, Operation Nighthawk, a Shadows of Deception short story featuring John Ryder, is now available exclusively on Amazon Kindle. It's a prequel to the Shadows of Deception saga.
Very cool.
You can buy it for $2.99 on Amazon.
I like that 80s comic book style cover there. That it looks very much like the old G.I. Joe comics.
That's kind of that's kind of what I was going for. Now, Sam, you ask, why isn't this in print? Well, ladies and gentlemen, all I can say about that is stay tuned because more will be revealed regarding
mystery
that. But if you have a Kindle and or an e-reader and you want a cheap read, and if you want a story that kind of explains some of the backstory but isn't necessarily mandatory to read, this is fun and just a quick read. So check that out. And of course, you can buy the other 3 books in the series here as well. In fact, you can buy all of them for around $20 on Kindle, and basically all of them in paperback too. So
Nice.
and
What's the price for all 3 in a bundle? Paperback.
all 3 in a paperback. Well, so third one is 12. So I think it's like $30 total.
Yeah, it's not like a bundle at the
nice.
moment.
Right.
Not at
I
the
wonder
moment.
why
That's
that
kinda
might
what
be. I guess we'll have to find out later.
That's kind of what I'm getting to. It'd be cool if that was a bundle.
Yeah, it'd be great if it was a bundle.
Well, I mean, you know what they say about October? It's full of surprises. So, like I said, dear viewer, stay tuned.
See, I get the subtlety what Sam's hinting at there. He's a ghost.
As do I.
Yeah, he's a ghost. That's what
Damn
he's gonna tell us in October, this big surprise, and it's that he's been a ghost the whole time.
Max, now it's not a surprise anymore.
Well, you're not supposed to confirm it. Jeez, you ghosts aren't good at this.
Well, why do you think we're stuck?
I know, but you figure they would have taught you this at spooking school.
Well, I mean, it's I mean, we're just kind of hanging out here on the astral plane, but anyway, so
hey, at least I didn't reveal the other secret that Morpheus is actually a vampire. Like, then that would be terrible because then everybody would know everything, right?
Well, look, I'm not.
God damn it, Max.
Is that really a secret though? I mean, we know that he likes all the gothic vampire chicks, so it kind of would make sense that he's like a vampire.
Let's put it this way: it hasn't been a secret that Mort's a vampire since 2018 and my Gwenting days.
Well, look, I know all about that. You're always up at night. What I really meant was the blood drinking, but okay.
Also, can confirm.
So, and with that, folks, I think we'll have call it a night. So yeah, check out the book series, Morpheus, Bits and Bones this week.
No bits and bones this week. Core needs the week off, so that's fine. Hope he rests up, and we'll be back at it next week.
Yeah, he's been grinding pretty hard. Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers to Core. We'll get back to the grind next week. Feel better, buddy, and hope your spirits raise quickly.
And Maxine, sandwich makers this weekend, I'm assuming.
As far as I know, me and Penn are going to be there. It's we're not sure about Chippy because she hasn't feeling well.
There will be a show. They don't know what they're doing quite yet, but there will be something. Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
It's almost like the sandwich makers might actually have to do an impromptu, show like the Whitfield.
Be careful what you wish for, because it's Wednesday, Sam. You think they wouldn't get something prepared by? Also, it doesn't matter to me anymore because I'm not the producer. We had a milestone. We had the first all-female production of a Right to Offend Media podcast this week.
That's Very
Cool.
cool.
I got to sit here and play Doom.
Congrats, vaccine.
You know what? Like that's the real victory is that like Max actually got time off. So
Well, I was still on call, but yeah.
so
Actually, I had to run the thing so that I had to press start and then I had to press end. But otherwise, I didn't do shit.
well, you know,
And,
sometimes,
the 5 hours it took to set her thing up and show her how to do it all. But that's,
well, you
doesn't
know,
count.
judging how Rumble Studio likes to log people out on occasion midstream, sometimes pressing start and end can be the most complicated thing.
That's true.
With Rumble Studio, I've noticed. But anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back next week. Not sure who this week's upcoming guest is going to be, but that will be TBD for Monday. And I'm sure by next Wednesday, there will be plenty of other stuff to talk about. But in the meantime,
I did want to make a quick show note regarding that before we wrap up completely. Is that we have differentiated the Whitfield Report, which is essentially now the Monday show, from the Whitfield Report Live, just to kind of alleviate any confusion. So if you're looking for the more interview-focused shows, you're going to be looking for Sam's Monday show, which he usually produces completely by himself, might I add, and I have no input on. So
production.
And then this live format it's a different show. So we are calling this the Whitfield Report Live, and then the Monday show is the mainline Whitfield Report. For anybody that was confused about branding or anything, that's how it goes from now on. Technically, two different shows, both hosted by Sam.
that is fair. The only thing that they do share is I do post both under the same account on Spotify. So that's Also,
from now on your end, just put live in these ones, right? Just throw live in the title, and that'll differentiate it for the audience. Because it's a very different show. It's a very different format of shows. And as I was going through trying to do some branding stuff, it just made more sense. I made an executive decision about your show without even asking you, Sam, and I am sort of sorry for that, but it needed to be done.
we actually talked about that off air, and I was kind of like, oh yeah, you make a good point. So so going forward, we will have separate branding.
Check out the next Whitfield Report on Monday, and then come back next Wednesday for the Whitfield Report Live. Also, Stripper Chick, it's happening.
Oh yeah,
that's really all I'm gonna say right now, but it's happening.
And it will definitely be funnier than The Office for sure.
And my wife doesn't have to play Stripper Chick.
Alrighty, folks, have a good evening, and we'll talk at you next week.
The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Thank you for watching the Whitfield Report live on the Right to Offend Media Network. Make sure to check out Sam's books on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. You can follow Sam on X at SamW_NGC and the Right to Offend Media Network at RTO Media. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. And until next time, God bless, God save this great nation. God, freedom, legacy, in that order.